A group of researchers recently discovered what they believe could be evidence of a lost island that sank into the sea 8,000 years ago, and if this is true, it could mean that history has to be rewritten. What we know for certain is that this mysterious island once existed, but the origins of this landmass are shrouded in mystery and legend, with some believing it was swallowed by a tsunami and others convinced it was cursed. Some even say it's where Atlantis was located. Could this be the key to unlocking one of the world's greatest mysteries? Welcome back, everyone. Here today, let's explore the untold stories of the Lost Island. Make sure to stay till the end because there are so many myths and legends about this mysterious island, and I'll share them all with you today. In 2022, scientists announced that they had found evidence of an enormous landmass that had been covered by water for over 10,000 years. This discovery completely changed what we thought we knew about prehistory. Scientists were able to identify this mysterious land thanks to new technologies that allowed them to see under miles and miles of water. With these images, they learned that what they believed was a peninsula was actually its own island. And that wasn't the only thing they uncovered. They also found out that this island was much bigger than they expected. It was around 130 square miles, which is about the size of modern-day Malta or the US territory of Guam. But how can scientists tell how long ago this island disappeared? Well, the answer lies in the layers of sediment that have accumulated on top of it since it last made an appearance above the waves. According to their calculations, this island sank somewhere between 9,600 and 8,200 years ago. That would mean that somewhere between 10 and 12,000 years ago, this land was home to ancient humans who left behind artifacts that have yet to be discovered. Currently, the team of researchers working on this project is still analyzing the data they gathered. In time, they hope to learn more about what happened to the island and whether or not humans lived there. So why is the existence of this island so important to our understanding of history? The simple answer is that the planet's history is filled with gaps. We don't know much about what happened before the written word was invented, because most ancient objects are either destroyed or lost. Even things like cave paintings can only reveal so much information. Discovering this island could be a major step forward in filling in some of those blanks. After all, this island existed during a period known as the Mesolithic Age. During this time, people were just beginning to farm and domesticate animals. If humans did live on this island, it's possible that they were part of one of the earliest civilizations. While this recent discovery has shocked the scientific community, it hasn't been met with quite as much excitement from the general public. Most people aren't interested in rocks and dirt sitting at the bottom of the ocean. But what if this island held more significance? What if it was once the location of a legendary city like Atlantis? Atlantis is mentioned in Plato's work Timaeus. He described it as an actual historical place that existed 9,000 years before his time. He said that the Atlanteans were an advanced civilization that lived on an island, but they were eventually overcome by their greed and lust for power. As punishment, the gods took away their advanced technology and sank their island into the sea. It was gone forever. Ever since the story was written down, people have wondered if Atlantis was real. There have been countless theories over the years, but none of them have been proven. Some people think it was Plato's way of teaching a lesson. Others believe it was based off a real place. It's true that there is archaeological evidence of settlements that could have inspired Plato's story. For example, there's the Minoan civilization that lived on the Greek island of Crete. These people were known for their impressive palaces and their advanced culture. Then there's the fact that Santorini used to be an island, but it experienced a volcanic eruption that lowered its elevation. Still, there's never been any physical proof that Atlantis was real. That is, until now, right? Well, some people think the recent discovery of a lost island could be the answer they have been looking for. This may sound far-fetched, but there are similarities between Plato's description and what we know about this underwater island. For one, he said that the island was round, and the island that was recently discovered is round. He also said that it was surrounded by water, which seems to be the case here as well. There's even a story about an earthquake that struck the island, which could explain why it sank into the sea. Of course, there are a lot of differences between Plato's story and reality. For example, he said that the island was big enough to fit Asia Minor on it, Asia Minor is modern-day Turkey, which is more than 214,000 square miles. That means the island would have been enormous. So while the island that was recently discovered does resemble what Plato described, it's nowhere near big enough. There are other legends surrounding the lost island as well. One myth claims that the island was cursed. This legend goes back centuries, and it tells the story of a king named Artaxerxes. The story says that he ruled the island wisely and fairly, but he was eventually overthrown by his brother. The new king was power-hungry, and he quickly set about conquering the rest of the world. Unfortunately for him, the gods intervened. They sent a series of earthquakes and floods that destroyed his army. Eventually, the island was completely destroyed, and it sank into the sea. Some say it was a warning to other rulers, while others believe it was simply divine retribution. Another myth claims that the island was home to a powerful sorcerer. His name was said to be Balor, and he used his powers to control the weather and the minds of others. Eventually, the gods grew tired of his shenanigans, so they took his life. To punish him, they sank the island into the sea. Although some versions of the story say that Balor survived, he managed to escape to another island, where he continued practicing his dark magic. There's also the legend of the Kraken. For those of you who aren't familiar with this myth, the Kraken was a giant sea monster that lived off the coast of Norway. It was said to be so big that it could wrap its tentacles around entire ships and drag them down to their doom. One day, the Kraken got a little too greedy. It attacked an island, and its tentacles ripped apart the land. Eventually, the gods had enough, and they drowned the monster, sinking it into the depths of the ocean. Some people believe that the lost island was destroyed by the Kraken, but thankfully, there's no evidence to support this theory. As you can see, there are many different stories that could explain the origins of this mysterious island. It's fascinating to think about what could be hiding beneath the surface of the water. Maybe one day, we'll find out the truth behind these legends. Now, it's time to hear from you. Do you think the lost island was real, or is it just a product of our collective imagination? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and see you next time. Bye.